you are a multi-talented woman and you wear so many hats. So you are a marketing strategist, you do podcast, you're a content creator, you're on Clubhouse teaching people many subjects, mostly has to do with social media. So tell us a little bit about where are all these talent come from? Were you like always like that in very young age, or you picked up when you are older?
That's a great question. So, yes, you know what? I was really very entrepreneurial from a young age. So, even when I was in high school, and here's the other thing, I really didn't like studying in school and homework. So, I was going to look for any reason to get out of school. But I was smart though. So when I was in high school, they had a program called the co-op program where I could go to school half day and I can work half day. And so I was like, oh my God, I can actually get out of school at noon and go to a big fancy office and work with adults. Like, sign me up. So that's what I did. And I actually worked at an in Lockheed Engineering and Sciences company, you know, and I was like in high school and worked in their accounting department, and they're like, oh, if you want to get a job, just go to college, get a degree, and you have a job waiting for you. And I was like, thanks, but no thanks, because I was like, I don't really like math. I don't think accounting is what I wanted to do. But that was the thing, I always liked working. I've worked since I was like 16, and even before I was 16, when I was like, you know a teenager, I would be babysitting. um I remember I was like babysitting this kid, and I would walk like many blocks to go to their house. And one day I was like putting on some makeup, like, the bathroom door open, and he's standing there and he's just staring at me. I'm like, and why are you staring at me? He's like, oh, you're so pretty. And I'm like, well, yeah. I'm like, what about the girls in your school? Like, aren't they pretty? Why don't you go after them? This is really funny. And he's like, no, no, they're overweight. And I was like, oh my God, you're like 9 years old and you're not exactly in shape. And already you're like looking for girls that are. I was just like shocked at that, because I mean, and I was only like 13 or so, 13 or 14, but I couldn't imagine that this kid is like, that's the way he was thinking. But I was always working. So I always was working. I loved making money from an early age. So yes, always entrepreneurial.
So tell me a little bit about how did you get into the legal side of marketing? Did you have to go to school to study the legality things, or do you just you're naturally good with the marketing? Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I think initially, like, I always wanted to be a lawyer because I knew I would be good at it, but I didn't want to go to law school for 3 years. So I think for me, doing legal marketing and working with lawyers, it's almost a way to live vicariously through them, because I get to see what it's like to be a lawyer. So, for example, even for one of my clients, I help them produce and launch their own podcast. And it's about, like injury law and what they do every day. And I really enjoy that because I'm learning so much, but also just seeing what they do day in and day out and helping people. So back when I was, my first, I guess my second job after college, I used to work for the Yellow Pages, the phone books, the Yellow Pages people flip through. So by working for that, a lot of my clients were lawyers. And then because I realized I liked working with them, I actually, when I went after new business, I went after more accounts that were lawyers. And for some reason, we just got along. We related to each other. I know a lot of people actually are like, oh, they don't want to work with lawyers because they think they're difficult. But for me, it's the opposite. I love working with lawyers. And ever since then, I just kind of went after that industry when I went into working for another company where I was selling online advertising on Google. I was selling pay per click ads. From in that company, we didn't have any accounts assigned to us. So I had to build up a book of business from zero. And I actually built up a book of business from zero to $1 million in like 18 months. And then I got promoted and stuff, and I'd, moved to California to run an office for that company. But I always was like working with lawyers. And so it just kind of became like the legal marketing specialist. And I really enjoy doing that. But I also work with, I mean, non-lawyers as well, but it's just that the majority of my clients are lawyers. And I do anything from website design to SEO. And for people who are like, what is SEO? That stands for search engine optimization. It means getting you to rank on page one of Google and organically, right? And then I also, help them with their overall marketing strategy, content creation. So we create a lot of content in terms of blog articles. And those are really important because like, I'll give you an example. If, let's say, you have two people, right? Two clients, and one has a website that's 10 pages long, 10 pages total. The other person has a website also 10 pages, but within a 1 year period, one person actually writes 10 blog articles a month. So by the end of the year, that person's website has 120 blog pages plus 10 original pages. That's a 130-page website versus their competitor has 10 pages. And then Google's going to say, we're going to reward you for that. And we're going to make your website rank higher because you've actually put in the work to create quality content. So, that's part of like what I do. I do a lot of other stuff, but we'll kind of leave that for later in the interview.
Interesting. Very good. Yeah, speaking of all these techie, and I met you on Clubhouse, and you are in many rooms and many panels and mods, and so lately is a huge for last I guess 3 or 4 5 days. There are so many groups talking about thread. So you are on some of them. So tell us about what's this phenomenon of threads going on.
Yeah, absolutely. So first of all, I mean Threads, it's created by the founders. It's created by, the founders of Facebook and Instagram and Zuckerberg, right? All that. And because of that, it's really taken off because the minute it launched, within I think 1 hour they had 1 million users, right? And now within 5 days, in 5 days, you're not going to believe this, they have 100 million users in 5 days. That's unheard of. Even Netflix, they didn't have that many, even other platforms, even ChatGPT did not have those stats, right? So I think that it's like really something to pay attention to because this is not just a fad. It's not just something that's going to go away. The only reason it might go away is if Elon Musk is like, going to do a lawsuit and he's going to somehow be like, okay, it's got to go down because they're violating some, you know, trademark or something like that. But other than that, I think it's actually going to evolve. It's going to grow. It's going to get better. And the reason is it's the way that they structured it was brilliant. So if you look at my phone, right? If you go on Instagram on your phone, it's actually tied to Instagram. So in order to go set up a profile on Threads, you have to have an Instagram account. So when you have an Instagram account, then it's actually linked to each other. They're interlinked with each other. So that you have to keep that in mind. So one thing to know is like if you set up a Threads account and you want to deactivate it, it's also going to deactivate your Instagram. So that's like one thing to be cautious about. But this app, it's really like a mix between, Twitter meets Instagram. And it's literally blowing up like crazy because, Zuckerberg said he wants it to be a friendly type of app. So he's really promoting people to connect with each other, to not really be salesy, but just really connect with each other, make genuine connections, and share content that, people enjoy engaging with. Because the people who are creating content that inspires other people to engage with their content is really what's working well over there right now. But this app is growing super, super, super quickly, super quickly. Are you on there?
No, I haven't. I try to set up, and then I realize if I have to get off, I will have to cancel or you know jeopardize my Instagram. So I hesitated. Yeah, it's just I need to watch a little bit. Yeah, just before I get on because I have spent way too much time on social media. What is your social media like? What are the three things you really use like like daily?
Like platforms, which social
Yeah,
media platforms?
yeah, but yeah.
Well, definitely Instagram. I mean, Instagram, of course. I use Facebook a lot for like my clients, not more so for myself as much, but daily, I would say I use Instagram. And then I use more and more now I use YouTube because I launched my own YouTube channel as well for my podcast. I've had my podcast forever, but I just recently decided I'm going to put it on YouTube. And that's been really exciting because there's YouTube shorts as well and everything takes off. But I would say those two, I don't even say three. Like Twitter, I'll go on there every few days and now I don't have time for it, so it's like in the back burner. And then LinkedIn, I only go on there to share my podcast episodes. I don't really use it. I know everyone says use it, use it. I will, but it's not a priority because now we have threads, we have Instagram. So there's only so much time in a day. So I think you can't do it all, guys. Like you have to pick one platform and maybe dedicate your time to that based on who the target audience is. If your target audience is hanging out on threads, then you should be on threads. However, if your target audience is hanging out on LinkedIn, then you should be on LinkedIn.
Yeah, well said, well said. So tell us a little bit, marketing, the word marketing. I find marketing is a little bit abstract word. So what is the difference between marketing and development?
Marketing and what?
Development. People say,
Development. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, marketing, right, is a very broad term. So when you say marketing, it can mean anything. It can mean so many different things, right? But it's basically promoting, someone's business or brand or product or services, right? Development is a totally different thing. That's a very broad word too. So it could be website development, or it could be development in general, which is very broad. So so I don't know quite how to answer that because I don't think the two go together.
So you have a entity called Mesmerizing Marketing Podcast. So tell us about, yeah, what kind of people do you interview, and how often do you put your podcast? Where can people find you on your podcast?
Yeah, thank you so much. So, I mean, I launched my podcast. I mean, I've had it for, I think, at least a year and a half. So, we have over 75 episodes, and, I've interviewed all kinds of guests. I've interviewed, like, for example, Manny Cabo. He was on The Voice. I've interviewed, some of the top lawyers all over the nation, many, many different types of people. And they can find it on Apple if they search for Mesmerizing Marketing. They will see it come up and they can subscribe there. Also on Spotify and on every major podcast platform. I'm also there. And now they can also search for Mesmerizing Marketing Podcast on YouTube and they can subscribe to my YouTube channel and find me there. But the concept basically is we talk a lot about like marketing different concepts. We talk about branding on there. We talk about Instagram. We talk about TikTok, Instagram Reels. We go over a lot of the platforms, but we really talk about how practically people can use them. Like, how can entrepreneurs, business owners, coaches use social media to grow their brand? We even talk about, how to build a personal brand. And then now with AI, I mean, a lot of the episodes have been about AI and talking about what are some of the latest AI apps and how to use them and why you should be using them. So, and we've had some episodes about LinkedIn even. So, there's a ton of free knowledge on there. I mean, like, and you guys don't have to pay anything. So go subscribe, go download a bunch of episodes because it's completely free.
Wow, that's nice. Yeah. Um, what is the dynamics, having a podcast instead of if you just have your regular YouTube channel where you talk to people? Why is a podcast is better than a video YouTube where you can interview people?
Yeah, that's a great question. I wouldn't say it's necessarily better, but I think that at the end of the day, the more digital real estate that you can take up for your brand or business, the more it's going to be good for your business in terms of getting leads in, making the right connections. And when you think about a podcast, it's the ease of availability. So if someone's on their phone and they're going for a jog, they're going for a walk, right? They can literally go to podcasts, they can look at the podcast and they can listen to it with their Apple earbuds on and they can be taking a walk, they can be at the gym. But watching a YouTube video, it's harder to do that when you're working out or you're taking a walk or you're running and jogging. But with a podcast, you can listen to it anywhere and it has global reach. I mean, the great thing about a podcast, it is all over the world And I always tell people too, one of the great reasons to launch a show is because you're actually going to be able to leave a legacy. And that's really important because, if you wanted to really share your knowledge with the world to inspire them, to teach them, you never know who you can make an impact on by sharing your message, your knowledge, and your voice. And I always say, don't keep that bottled up. Do not keep that bottled up. You have to share that. Because if you don't share it with the world, you're almost like Ching doing like a disservice to them because there's people that need your message. They need to hear you, they need your help.
Wow, that's so profound, right? That's very very profound. So yeah, so tell us now, what like day to day kind of a project do you do currently?
Well, currently, I mean, I've actually been diving into AI a lot. So, obviously, me, I love ChatGPT, but so like for example, a week ago or so, 2 weeks ago maybe, I did a VIP day for a client, and a VIP day basically is like they spend 4 hours with me, whether it's in person or via Zoom, or they split it up sometimes in two sessions. And I literally help them with their entire marketing strategy for the entire year, and I also teach them how to do some things that they don't know how to do. Like, for example, how to use social media, how to create reels, or how to use artificial intelligence, for their business, how to use ChatGPT. So we did that, and it was really fun because that was my first VIP day that I did using entirely AI and showing them how to use AI. And my client was just blown away, like her jaw dropped. Like, I filmed her the second time. The first time, I wish I had the camera out, Ching, but she was like, "Oh my god," like blown away, like what it can do, like OMG. Because a lot of people don't know about ChatGPT yet, even because they're not on Clubhouse. See, we're kind of like the not we're not the norm. We're on Clubhouse. We're always like we're there. We're learning like something new all the time. But other people, like, they don't know about some of the things. So we're like early adopters to everything. And so that's part of it. But the other thing that I really do is like, I'm a content creator. So I'm also an Amazon Live influencer. So I create content for them. And I also am a content creator for other brands that approach me. And, I kind of do that on a separate Instagram page most of the time because I have a fashion one that people kind of look at for those things. And I'm also been diving into using Midjourney, which is another AI platform that is used to create art, right? And all kinds of beautiful graphics. I'm actually working on a new collection I want to launch, and I want to debut it on Etsy, but have a deadline. I want to try to get it out by a certain time, because it coincides with actually, a theme of something that's going to be happening over the summer, and I'm not going to disclose that yet. But so, and that, I ordered samples. So I ordered samples of some products, and I created them like journals and mugs and things like that. And I was impressed about how beautiful they came out.
Wow, you do so many things. Yeah. So let's rewind back a little bit. Where were you born? Can you share with us a little bit?
Well, let's have you guess. Where do you think I was born?
And then your last name, it threw me out. Dan, I thought you were Chinese.
Yeah, that's funny. A lot of people are like, "Is that Chinese?" No. Yeah. No, I know. I don't know how I got that name. I don't, but no, I'm actually Indian, from India, and I was
Oh,
born in New Delhi. And
oh,
people are like, "How did you get the name Dimple?" I'm like, "Well, there's a movie star, and her name's like Dimple Kabaria, and she's gorgeous, by the way." And so that's how I got the name, because my parents didn't name me right away. They named me like a month later, and like I smiled. I had two dimples, right? So that's how they named me that. And you know, and it kind of has worked well for me, because when I was in sales, people would actually call me back because they're like, "That's not really your name, is it?" I'm like, yes, it is." They're like, "You're messing with me." I'm like, "No, I'm not messing with you." But I'm like, "Would you rather I be like, no offense to the Jennifers out there, but like a boring Jennifer, and there's like a million Jennifers?" Like, so I actually like started liking my name more because I was like, you know what? It's actually working in my favor.
Yeah, I thought it's a stage name as well. Uh,
No, I'm not a stripper.
so you were born in New Delhi, and then what happened? And your family immigrant
Oh, I
to
came to America. Yeah, I came to America because my dad was here and stuff. So we came to America, and I actually, I like America so much. Like I wouldn't want to go back there and live there. I'm just very Americanized too. So, and even though I hold on to some cultural values and things like that, I'm pretty Americanized. So,
so you guys your family first landed in Chicago or somewhere else?
oh, in Chicago.
Oh, okay, okay. Chicago
Yeah.
is nice. It's a very cosmopolitan city, right?
It used to be nice. It's no longer nice. There's like 20 police cars everywhere, like on every street block, but it used to be nice.
Oh gosh. You know what I know
The
about
crime is out of control, and the mayor wasn't really good, and it was just out of control. Like imagine living in the best part of town.
Chicago.
You can't walk down the street in broad daylight, and then there's like 8 people robbing the Neiman Marcus with guns.
Oh no.
And you could be walking down the street. Do you really want to be a part of that? No. And then there's people, their cars are getting carjacked in broad daylight.
Yeah.
So I remember I used to have like a BMW 4 Series car and sports car, and I would be driving Michigan Avenue and put my car in sport mode because I was like, oh no, no, no. If you're gonna come up to me, and try to like carjack me, I'm gonna pretend I'm gonna get out of the car, but I'm not getting out of the car. I'm
Mhm.
just gonna zoom away and go 0 to 60 in 2 seconds. Bye bye. Not me. Not me. Find someone else. It's true, because it's like, I mean, like the people that get taken advantage of are the ones that are distracted and they're on their phones or they're not paying attention. So
Yeah.
if you're paying attention, you can actually like prevent those situations from happening.
Do you have to do a lot of what do you call adjustments when you move to North Carolina, where you are now? Is it a much smaller city and smaller environment? Do you
Yeah.
have to
I mean,
adjustment?
it's yeah, I would definitely say that's a good question. It's definitely been an adjustment because moving anywhere is hard, but then moving to a much smaller city from a very big, large city, it can seem to be a little bit boring. And it can also be hard to like make new friends in the beginning, especially if like you work a lot like me and you're not going out that much, you stay home. But now I feel like I've been here a year, like I'm getting settled. So I think like once you've been somewhere for like a year, that's you have to give any new place you move to, you have to give it a year, you know? But
Yeah.
sometimes I always wonder like maybe I'm going to end up in Miami or something because I almost wanted to move there even before this year was up, but then I'm like, "Oh, just hold on. Just wait. Just wait. You haven't even been here a minute, you know?"
Mm. Yeah. So I met you on Clubhouse. For some of people out there, if they don't know what is a Clubhouse, can you give a like short definition of what the hell is Clubhouse?
Well, Clubhouse is a social audio app that basically people can go up on the stage and they can have conversations, they can host rooms about different topics, and literally can make a ton of friends from all over the world. And they can also lead to different business opportunities, collaborations, and connections. Just be aware of how much time you spend on Clubhouse, though. That's important. How much time you're going to spend on Clubhouse, you have to be aware. Because some people, they become addicted to it and they're spending day and night on it. And actually, Ching, I'm seeing that happen all over again with the inception of the Threads app. Like people are on there 24/7 talking about rooms, nighttime rooms, daytime rooms. It's too much, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's too much. It's like it's not like you're going to make money off of that right away. It's actually distracting you from your bigger purpose of things that you should be working on that you're creating. So I think there has to be the balance.
Right, exactly. I agree with you. And I find if I'm on Clubhouse too much, I'm not really thinking about my own project because I thought, well, when I'm doing laundry, when I'm cleaning my home, I will listen. But actually, it's not true though. Because if you are working a house, right, chore, if you are doing laundry, you actually, if you want to think about what you want to do with your own project or your process or what you need to done, um, when you listen to Clubhouse, you're not thinking about your own project. So I find it is
I
actually,
actually kind of still am because I'm a very good multitasker. And
yeah,
then sometimes I'm on there, I do turn the volume way down or even turn it off. But it's like but I feel like sometimes I just don't want to have it on at all and I get more done, right?
yeah,
But the thing is when you work from home like I do too, like sometimes it just gets really quiet and lonely. So it's almost like a radio station.
yeah,
That's how I call Clubhouse. It's a radio station that you leave on and then you kind of pay attention when you hear something like anytime someone says AI, my ears perk up. I'm like, what? What which AI tool was that? You know? Oh, Lalo.
Hi,
Hi,
Lalo.
Lalo. See,
Lewis.
somebody came and joined us from Threads. Thank you for supporting us today.
Yeah,
That's
thank
too funny. I didn't know anyone was watching us. Does it tell
Lewis
you
is
how many people
here.
are watching?
Mark is here. Lu-
Mark who?
Mark, Wyatt, yeah, oh, Shockfin Tech is here. His clubhouse name is Wyatt. So
Okay, Wyatt.
yeah,
Yeah, that
hi
sounds
Wyatt.
familiar.
Thank you. Yeah,
Mhm.
and
That
Lewis.
sounds familiar.
But anyway, yeah. So I think what Clubhouse is so different from other app is that is live. Live people are talking at this particular moment.
And 24 hours a
Yeah,
day. I mean, there are times when I come home and it's late and I had a drink or two. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go on Clubhouse because like I'm still bored or I don't want to go to sleep. But it's like you can always find someone to talk to.
yeah,
And because I've been on there since December of 2020, like, it's like 2.5 years. So I know a lot of people there.
yeah, yeah.
I made a lot of connections and they're all over the world. They're all over in different cities. The majority of them I've actually never even met in real life. And I wish like one day they would do like a clubhouse event where we could all go and meet people. There would be so
Right.
much love in that room.
Convention, Clubhouse
Yeah.
convention.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. But
Yeah.
we'll see. They haven't done it yet, but
I
you never
actually,
know.
Dimple, I actually met several people uh, in person from.
Because you're in New York, I think a lot of people are in New York, or did you go to some event?
I went to California. I met Williams,
William.
filmmaker Williams William Murray, and then I also met Mark, which is in right now watching us. A shark fan's real name is Mark, and he lives in New Jersey. And I met Darren Juhl, who teaches a 1 minute film school, and he came to New York, so we met. I actually met lots of people.
Oh
Johnny
wow.
Johnny Wu came to New York, did his film, a film thing in the movie theater. So I went. So yeah, it's nice, and yeah, I'm very addicted to Clubhouse. I have to say, yeah. So yeah. So anyway, how is your like? Do you have like a future endeavors, or you already have enough things to do? Like, what are you working towards?
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Okay, you're gonna ask me that question. Well, I mean, if I could find the time after I'm done with all my other projects and things that I want to launch, I would love to launch like at least one new podcast this summer, like a brand new show that I've been wanting to launch for a while. But I definitely know it's not going to be July. It might be more like end of August or September, I think would be a good time. But I've also been wanting to like launch my own community. Like I have a concept that I thought about actually like 3 or 4 months ago. And then I don't know, just like didn't feel like doing it. I guess I talked myself out of it for whatever reason. And now I keep thinking about like, you know what? I think it's time I'm going to do it. And it's like literally just ordered the wardrobe for it, like the dresses to wear to like promote this new thing. And it's like something very very unique and it's just like timing. I think everything is about the timing of when you're going to launch something and when you're ready to launch something. So I'm very particular about when I choose to do particular things.
So do you work you work at home, and do how does that work? Like, do you spend a lot of time working in legality type of a marketing, or you do multi type of work?
I mean, I do anything. So like a typical day would be I can be working on editing a podcast. I can be working on recording a show with a client. I can be working on creating social media content like reels for Instagram and Facebook and stuff like that. I could be working on, talking to other vendors that they have that they want me to vet out. Um, I mean, literally, like any graphic design, I can be creating ads for magazines, things like that. Um, Different campaigns, like Facebook advertising campaigns. I could be working on designing a WordPress website. Writing content, picking out photos, putting together like brands and things like that. So it's a lot, like because I think some people are very like niche where they only know how to do maybe one or two things, but I have been in marketing for so many years and I've taught myself how to do a lot of things. So like I can create a website myself in WordPress. I've created many websites. I can do SEO myself. In fact, that's like my specialty is getting people to rank on page one of Google, and not just one time, but multiple times. Because when someone's searching for a product or service and you come up on Google, and if you can come up more than one time, then guess what? You're going to have that likelihood of getting that phone call and getting that lead. And even though like SEO doesn't happen overnight, it's literally about building a sustainable business and brand that when you want to go and retire, guess what? That's a digital asset that people can sell, because a website is something that has value associated with it. Even the name of the website domain, like the URL, that has value associated with it. But then you add the value of like over years. Now you have a website that's like 500 pages instead of like 20 pages. That has even more value because now you have 500 more times the possibility of ranking on page one of Google than your competitor. So I always tell people, like, you have to have a short term like marketing strategy to get immediate leads, and then you have to have a long term strategy for growth and sustainability. Because if you can build up a brand that is ranking all over the place, someone will buy that from you if you wanted to sell it.
Wow. That's so many ins and outs, and we don't know a lot of it. Regular people don't know. And I have a question for you. Is that I have Facebook, which is like personal page. Then I have quite a few of a business page. Right. One of
Mhm.
the page is my film, my Young Gun Diary, which is a 90-minute feature documentary, and but uh, I cannot promote from my Yangon Diary Facebook page. They say you're not qualified, or you're not. They don't let me. Facebook do not. So I have a feeling it's because my film at the beginning, the description is about 2020 presidential campaign. Is it because political things Facebook do not let you do promotion?
Yeah. They have like you can actually Google like Facebook's like standards of what you can promote and not promote. And I'm pretty sure like certain things like politics, things when you're talking about things like pharmaceuticals, things like that, those are not allowed.
Mm, okay.
And also like rallies, because a lot of the stuff in your movie was pertaining to showing like protests and things like that. That's something that they're not a fan of content wise.
Oh,
That's why.
I
Yeah,
love it.
they're very strict about those things, yeah.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah.
But you could probably honestly, you could probably get away with it on Twitter. Twitter is like anything goes on Twitter. Why
Oh,
don't you promote it on Twitter?
oh, okay. I don't know how. You teach me.
Okay, I have to teach you.
You teach me. So anyway, yeah. Go back to the thread. Do you think can you give like a one sort of short sentence about people if they don't know what thread is, and where should they get on?
Well, Threads is the number one app in the Apple App Store, and it is basically like blowing up on fire. It is like an explosion. It's got explosive growth, and you need to get on there now. Even if you don't have time to actively use it, go and claim your profile, because everyone when they're on there, like what they do is like on your Instagram, it gives you a number. That tells you what your number is of when you signed up for it, so you don't want to look like you were lazy and then you're like the 100 million person when you could have been like early on.
didn't understand the number. I've been seeing people have number next to it. Oh my
And then
god.
the other significance of the numbers when you click it, so if you go to someone's profile and you click it,
Yeah.
it takes them straight there and you can follow them.
Oh, that's so wild.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't understand.
It's
Where the
nail
number?
polishes. Oh my God, interesting. I didn't know that.
What?
My nail polish, like it's like changes colors in
Yeah,
like camera light because it's
yeah.
like really neon coral, but it's like
Nice.
changing colors. I'm like,
Yeah,
whoa.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's nice. It looks like a, one.
Amazon. Amazon.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I got it
Yeah.
from Amazon.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah. So let's see. What is the who are the few people who inspire you for what you do? Like, how did you like get into this whole business of marketing?
That's a good question. I think one person that I know, like I really admire and inspires me, like is Marie Forleo. And Marie Forleo, she built up her business like on the side when she was working a corporate job and she was bartending and she was like doing all these things. She built it up on the side. But there's something about her, like I used to watch her, YouTube videos all the time, and just her style of, sharing her content. And she was very fashionable and poised. Like that's one person. I would also say back in the day, like Oprah Winfrey as well, because I just feel like she really kind of overcame a lot of adversities to get to where she is today. And I think that's something that can inspire anyone, is like when you can overcome, things that she had to overcome, but yet you come out ahead because she didn't give up, right? And she was a trooper.
Right. Definitely. Definitely. Yeah. So if well, what do you think? I know you're very forefront about artificial intelligence, and I'm a filmmaker. I have a question for you. Do you think AI is going to take over many aspects of creative people, including filmmakers? Like, what are the elements that AI cannot take over for filmmakers?
I think that when it comes to AI, like right now where we are today, it's definitely a tool that people are using to help them with their business, no matter whatever industry they're in. So for filmmakers, right? Filmmakers like are writing a lot of scripts and stuff like that. So it can help them, write a script faster. It can help them write a script where they have different characters, and it's going to help maybe with the imagination of things. But like I don't think AI is ever going to really replace like human intelligence no matter what. I think because the human mind, right? It's so complex, and even though AI can be trained to be quite complex, it's still going to have limitations at least for the next year or two. But the way that it's growing so fast, I think anything's possible. I'm not surprised. Because even like right now, like I think Uber Eats or something in New York City, they're testing out these like little AI robot vehicles that are supposed to deliver people's food. And I'm like, wow, are we already there?
Yeah, I was in a restaurant a few weeks ago, in Chinese restaurant, and like dim sum restaurant. Do you know dim sum? In the
Hmm.
Cantonese people eat at the lunchtime, a very
I
small.
like, yeah, I
Yeah,
like them some.
yeah.
Hmm.
And then there's actually a AI card, and the car just gonna drives around by itself, have dishes on it. It's
Oh,
like,
they're doing that in dim sum restaurants
yeah,
already in New
yeah,
York.
yeah, yeah. But they have real people do that too. But this is very funny. It was
How
fascinating.
did you what did you feel like? I would be like, "Oh my God, okay." I would try to talk to it, but I don't know if it would like actually smile at me or if
Yeah,
it could like light up and have like a smiley face or a
yeah.
sad face.
Yeah, no, they just have a card kind of moves by itself, and then in the front of it, it has a little face, but the face is just a drawing, it's not like making any movement. So, yeah, it's I myself feel that I need to embrace the whole thing about AI, but I do have fear about things going to be taken over by AI so much that uh, people are losing their jobs, and people are losing creative jobs, that is a little scary, you know.
Well, here's like what I think about that. I think it's really important to note is that I think that people are the only people that are going to be replaced by AI are the ones that are not willing to adopt AI into their lives and learn how to really use it. So I think that if you want to secure your jobs and you want to secure the future and you want to, be able to take care of your family, my suggestion is learn how to use AI, learn how to use it now because it is moving at a speed that is so quick. It's like ultra lightning fast, right? Even if I'm in marketing and my head's spinning so fast, sometimes I'm like, oh my God, there's another new AI app. Oh my God, there's this, there's that, right? Pay attention to things like AI, pay attention to things like threads because they are not just fads, they're not just trends. There's a lot of trends. And when I see, there's trends too that I'm like, I'm not getting myself into that whole metaverse thing and all that because I saw that as a trend in a way. Now it may pick back up, but it's really kind of went up and it went down. But things like AI, it is here to stay because even in mainstream platforms and even in the courtroom, even in different things, it's people are incorporating AI. I mean, people are incorporating AI in everything that they do every day now. And it's becoming more mainstream. And if you don't know how to use it, then you're going to feel intimidated and you're going to get left behind. And if that's what happens, then yes, you will lose your job. But on the flip token, if you teach yourself how to use AI by, going into clubhouse rooms that talk about it, by watching YouTube videos, by reading articles in the news, by setting up Google alerts saying, I want you to send me articles to my mailbox, which you can do all about AI, all about ChatGPT, whatever apps that you want, then you're going to actually become an asset. So if somebody had to lay off a bunch of people at a company, the last person to go is going to be the one that's actually skilled at AI. Think about that.
Wow, that's so awesome. Yeah, that's true. And it is intimidating, yeah, for a lot of people. For some people, like my family member, they don't even like to carry their cell phone with them at all times, you know, and they don't check their text message. So it's very frustrating. But yeah, I think the time is different, and we need to, and you are very on top of everything. Yeah, that's wonderful. All right, so we are almost at our time. Would you like me to do a rapid fire with you before we end?
Sure, go for it.
Rapid fire means like a short question and short answers.
Hmm.
All right, so let's do it. All right, so Dimple, what's your favorite color?
I would say royal blue.
Royal blue.
Hmm.
What is your favorite drink when you go to a bar?
I would say wine, Malbec wine.
No, yeah. Um, what country you would like to visit if you are on a vacation, like 3 weeks, no work, just vacation?
I would say I would love to go to Thailand.
Thailand. Which book you read recently that you recommend to us?
Um, Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill.
What's about that?
What is it about? It's about outsmarting people so that you can come out and win.
Oh, okay. What's your favorite television series?
My goodness, let's see. I do like the shows like the real estate shows on the Selling Sunset, things like that. The Housewives of those kind of shows. But I
Yes.
don't watch that much TV.
No.
I'm really busy, so usually like if I watch something, I do a Netflix series when I have time, and then that's it.
Yeah, yeah. And what are the two main clubhouse house do you go on?
Well, I would like to say my own houses.
Yeah.
um,
What's your own house?
I mean, my own house, I have ChatGPT. I have like 5 of them. I have Mesmerizing Marketing. That's my house. I have ChatGPT for content creators. I have, podcasting for beginners. I have Unapologetically Independent, and I have one or two more. I can't even think of them. But I don't think it's about the houses. I think it's about the topics and supporting other people. But I usually like to learn something if I go into rooms. If I don't find the conversation interesting or I'm going to learn something new, I'll probably not spend that much time there.
Leave quietly.
Leave quietly. And that's what I would tell people when they want to come up to the rooms and they're like being disruptive and things like that. Leave quietly or you'll be made to leave quietly because we'll exit you out the door.
Tough, tough.
You know how it goes. You've
Yeah,
been on there.
I know, I know. I've been there more than
And
two.
after you've been on there for 2.5 years, like, your tolerance for other people's nonsense just goes down.
Yeah,
And it's like, mm-mm. I always said, like, I made these funny Instagram reels when Clubhouse first came out about
yeah,
all the funny things that happened on Clubhouse and people were like pitching in my rooms on my
yeah.
stage. And I was like, no, 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 no. You want to go pitch, go start your own room. Like, do not do it on my stage on my time because that's just rude. And people sometimes they are like that. They're rude on there.
Hmm.
You
Right,
have to like you have to set them straight sometimes.
right, right. Um, except Indian food, what are um, what are the cuisines you really like?
I love sushi, definitely a big sushi fan. I love Thai food. I love Pan Asian food and Italian food's like pretty good too.
That's great. If you had a luxurious of having three dinners with three different person in three different occasions, dead or alive, who would you like to have dinner with?
Okay, let's see. Well, we'll say Julia Roberts, we'll say Oprah Winfrey, and we will say Gary V.
Who's Gary B?
Gary Vaynerchuk.
I don't know who is Gary.
Yes, you do.
Am I supposed to know? Oh,
Yes, you do.
oh, you mean the person on Clubhouse? No, 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 no. I'm sorry. Tell me,
No,
tell me.
Gary V, like he's like a thought leader. Has a huge marketing agency. He's in New
Oh,
York City. He
okay.
posts all this stuff and people love him.
Oh, okay. Oh, sorry, I don't know. uh,
You're gonna look it up after this, girl.
apologize. Yeah, I apologize. Yeah. So, what do you see yourself in 5 years?
I see myself like evolving fully, like where it's like spiritually, emotionally, physically, mentally, and I see myself in a place where it's like I've designed the life for myself and I'm living my best life that I've actually designed now that 5 years later I will be living that life. And I'm gonna have a puppy or two.
Puppy?
A puppy or two. It's gonna be a
Ooh,
Maltese puppy. Then maybe you'll have to get another puppy for that puppy to have friends with. I'm gonna have a puppy or two.
puppies are nice. I have two cats.
Yeah.
What kind of music do you listen to when you're driving long distance?
Oh, I like my European music of dance, techno, house, hip hop, all that stuff. Even
Awesome.
rap music
Rap?
too. Yep.
Awesome, awesome. Do you play musical instrument?
I do not play musical instruments, but I would love to learn how to play the drums and the guitar.
Nice. You cannot go wrong. Well, yeah. So,
I always one more thing. I
mm,
always wanted to be in a music video.
oh
So
yeah,
like I would love to be in a music video, like, and
sing
I
it.
can create my own song with ChatGPT and
Do
with all this AI stuff, I think I'm gonna make my own song at least, and I'm gonna play it on Clubhouse this summer,
it.
promise.
Do it. Do it. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. That sounds so wonderful. Yeah. So yeah, thank you so much, Dimple. I wanted to thank our uh audience to be with us again, and whether you're watching right now or watching later, thank you for being here. My name is Ching Juhl. I'm the host for this program. I've been actually Dimple, I've been doing this for like a 240 whatever times since pandemic lockdown. So, and have interviewed lots of people, quite a few of Clubhouse, I call Clubhouse artists, and you're one of them, and politicians and volunteers and all kind of people. Yeah, so I learned so much from you guys, and yeah, please subscribe this channel if you like it, and also look into Dimple's channel. What is your? How can people find you?
Yeah, so on YouTube, if you go to YouTube and you search Mesmerizing Marketing Podcast, you will find my channel. You can subscribe to it. I have 2 podcast episodes that are videos on there, and I have a couple of YouTube shorts I'm going to be uploading more shorts. Literally, my plan is to do one a day. And I have some other great interviews. One of them is with you. That's going to be launched next week as well. So definitely subscribe to the channel. And thank you, Sharkfin.
Where else people can find you? Instagram, right?
Yeah, on Instagram, I have actually a couple accounts. My main account, the handle is She Wears Stilettos, and the name is Online Marketing Expert. And then I also have another account for, it's called on Instagram, Attorney Marketing Expert. And then I have an account for my podcast called Mesmerizing Marketing.
Wow,
Then I
that's
have a fashion one, but they don't need the fashion one. That's like, I don't really use that one too much. It's like for brand deals and stuff like that. But
uh,
but yeah, no, they can find me on Instagram. Like, don't message me on LinkedIn. I will not read your messages. I will not add you because I do not go on there to use it. Instagram, find me on Threads. My Threads is connected to my Instagram. So if you go to Instagram, She Wears Stilettos, and you click the numbers, it'll take you to Threads. You can follow me over on Threads as well, or you can look me up on Threads under, same thing, online marketing expert, and then the handle She Wears Stilettos. And then my podcast is mesmerizing marketing podcast.com. So if you go there, you've got over 76 episodes that you can download for free. And also you can go to Apple Podcasts and you can search for Mesmerizing Marketing Podcast. You can subscribe so that you don't miss out on any episodes. And also, if you do enjoy my show, I would love it if you wanted to leave me a review. And also, if you enjoyed this episode with Ching, like, leave her some nice comments below.
thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah. So I for a while I stopped asking people to subscribe my YouTube channel because I learned that there's no use if you just ask people to subscribe you unless they watch your content, right? Like for YouTube, people need to watch my videos from beginning to the end. If they just subscribe, it's called ghost subscriber, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot of ghost subscribers all and even on Instagram there's people that are watching you. But sometimes the people that are watching you, they actually end up becoming your clients. There some people just aren't very active on social media, so we can't judge that, but
Mhm.
sometimes they actually are admiring your content, and maybe later you find out that they tell you that you made a difference in their life, in their world, because I've had people come to me and tell me that all the time.
Wow, that's nice. In general, I have a rule. I don't know where I got it. Is that I do not subscribe more than people subscribe me. In other words, right now on Instagram, I have a 2,000 whatever plus followers. Right, I have 1,000 whatever follow other people. I don't want to follow 3,000 people. I only have 2,000. So, what do you feel about that?
So you're saying you put a limit on how many people you're going to subscribe to max?
I do not want to subscribe more people than people follow me. That's my theory. In other words, if
Okay.
yeah, is that a good thing or not? Is that a good rule?
I mean, I think it depends on what your goal is, right? And how you think about it. I don't think there's one set rule for everyone. I mean, personally, me, like, I don't follow everybody back on social media and things like that. I follow the people that either they're friends, I know them, or I like their content.
Mhm.
Because if they're going to be on there, but they're not going to actually like use the platform, they're not actually going to engage with my content, it's not going to help my numbers, it's not going to help my engagement. There's literally no point, right? So
Mhm.
in fact, like on my Instagram, I probably need to go back on there and like, start unfollowing people because they're just not longer even on the platform. They haven't posted in years. So there's no point, I believe, in like having those on your account because they're just taking up ample like empty space for no reason, right? But like I think that it's about you going. I always like to go and search like the thought leaders and follow the people that I really want to see their content. Even though I don't know them, I haven't met them in person, but the people like, like Marie Forleo and things like that, because I'm like, oh, like Amy Porterfield and all that. Like I like their content. So I want to see that on my feed.
Hmm. Yeah, that makes every sense. So I would sometimes go into my like I would delete some of the stuff. Like there's a category, right? It's like the least what do you call associate with you or whatever. The least these people they don't do anything with you, but they are there, you know. So I would go in, and it's very strange. This is a little off the topic. Is sometimes when I look at the Instagram people who's I follow or they follow me, I don't really recognize them. There's so many people I don't know. Do
That's
you
because you
think?
probably followed them many years ago when you were following everyone. You know, in the beginning, when you first get on a new platform, it's easy to be like, oh, I'm just gonna follow this one, this one, that one. But you become more discerning as you realize, like, wait a minute, why did I just follow all those people? Because I was just on this like in this kind of like thing of like doing this, but that's not how it should be.
Yeah, yeah,
It's I mean, I don't believe in follow for follow. I
yeah.
believe in follow for value.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Follow for value, not follow for follow.
And also there's another angle in looking at it is when someone always comment on my Instagram or on my YouTube, right? I go back to visit them because although some of them they don't have content, you know, but still I visit them. If they have content, I will make a contribution of liking their content because they just keep, like, I have several people, they always comment on my content, you know. So I'm just thinking it's a reciprocal thing, you know, it's a digital currency. We need to be more sensitive about your fellow friends or fellow content creators, right? And give them something back, right? Not always receiving it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's about giving. I think when you give freely to other people, like it's like the law of the universe, it's going to come back to you. So I always say give without expectations. Don't expect anything. Because when you expect things from people, you're always going to end up disappointed and feeling disheartened. I mean, if you just give like authentically, give freely from the bottom of your heart, like you're not going to feel bad about it. And if it reaches the right person, your give, then that person and the law of the universe is going to give back to you. It's going to come back to you in some way through some other person, even if it's not through that particular person.